Good morning. And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation at Shelter Rock. I am the Reverend Israel Buffardi. I am one of the associate ministers here at this congregation. I am privileged to serve with a team of ministers here, and I am privileged to welcome you all here into this community, into this space, together, where we come together to learn and grow, to learn from one another, to connect with one another, to find our roots, to reflect on the values and things that are important to us, and to help each other to grow the wings that we need to go out into the wider world and fill it with more love and more justice. If this is your first time here, or your second time here, or your third time here, I welcome you, and I am so glad to see you, and I hope that you'll come find me or one of the members of our membership committee and find out more about what goes on in this place and what makes it so special. If this is your 50th or your 500th time here, come find me too. We here in this congregation are an open-minded, open-hearted community of inclusion, where we welcome others in, people perhaps who were told that they were not lovable or sacred somewhere else. We welcome all of you here. We encourage each other, too, once we come here, to learn and to grow. We encourage our questions because we know that the sacred, beautiful truths of the universe are far too complex to be summed up in any one spiritual tradition's dogma. So we make space for questioning and discovery here. And we make space to encourage each other to develop compassion, which we so desperately need in our world today. And maybe in that space of discovery and questioning and welcoming in, we just might discover our interdependence. The fact that we so deeply need other people to survive. That this is a core human need. So here we are together to celebrate our interdependence, to celebrate each other and the fact that we need each other so that we can go out and be change makers in our world. Today, we celebrate what it means to be a member of this congregation, of this sacred community. And before we move further into that, I just want to draw your attention to a few ways that you can get involved in this community. One way that we practice our interdependence with each other is by coming together to do things for our wider community, by volunteering our time to make connections in our wider community, to meet new people that we just might learn something from, and who we also might be able to offer something of ourselves to. I would draw your attention that we have 2 new volunteer opportunities that we are organizing around in this community, and these are ways to develop relationships and make a difference, to learn and grow and support others and ourselves. And if you're interested, we are looking for people who would like to volunteer to become friends, companions to parents who have children in the Head Start program in our local area, and also people who are interested in helping new Americans to take the citizenship test and become further integrated into our community. So if you're interested in doing one of those things, you can look in our newsletter, and you can contact Claire DeRoche, who is our social justice coordinator, who is helping to organize that with one of our members. I encourage you to take advantage of these opportunities. And now to talk more about what we are doing today to celebrate membership, I welcome the chair of our membership committee, Monica Schlichting, to come up and tell you a little more and invite you to something special.
Thank you. Good morning. So, I'm deeply grateful for the unwavering support and boundless warmth that each of you extends, especially during moments when I'm feeling in need. Your presence is a source of inspiration, and your companionship fosters my growth in every conversation and connection we share. Reflecting on my tenure on the membership committee over the past year, I am humbled by the privilege of welcoming newcomers who have seamlessly integrated into our family, UU family. Each new member brings us a new perspective and enriches our community, and I treasure the friendships forged along the way. I know I'm just reading this off here. Thoughts that happen over the night when I'm trying to put this together. But I'm really, truly honored to be part of this community, and I feel very connected and supported by all of you, especially on days like today where I feel like a little unsettled by being up here. I still feel safe to be up here in front of all of you. But my main purpose to be up here today is that I'm thrilled to extend a warm invitation to each and every one of you, newcomers and longstanding members, to our membership renewal luncheon. It's an honor to welcome both of you, welcome everybody to this special occasion where we come together to celebrate our shared commitment to our community. As you leave today, we will be handing out pledge cards, and they will also be found on the tables in the lunchroom. I think we have a beautiful lunch ready for you when you come out. I hope everyone will come and be part of it. There'll be music. Bruce Torp is playing the piano this afternoon. Thank you, Bruce. And it's just great to be all together on this day and to support our community. Yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. We will have some announcements in the social hall, and we'll have people on the membership committee to help you with all of it. But mostly, we want you to have a wonderful afternoon with us, okay? Thank you.
Now that you are here together, and you know why we are here together, I invite you to take a moment to greet and come into community further with the people that you are gathered here with. Take a moment to see the people that you are with, say hello, and know that we are here together. Monica is going to light our chalice for us now. And the chalice, as you may know, is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. But you also might ask, why do we call it a chalice? You could call it a chalice. You could call it a kiddush cup of sorts. A cup, a vessel, to remind us of the abundant blessings of life itself that we take in every day. And it is when we come together in community that we hold out that cup and we notice what abundance flows into it every day. Air to breathe, water to drink and sustain our bodies, food, delicious food to eat, beauty and art and music to enrich our lives. And we take in all these things when we are together until our cups runneth over. But then we look around and we notice that there are other cups perhaps that need filling. And so we let our abundance spill over into each other's cups. And suddenly, more and more and more blessings and more abundance flows. By way of open arms of companions that are there to hold and comfort one another. By voices raised in solidarity for causes that make our world more beautiful and more loving and more just. So our chalice for us becomes then a reminder that as life fills our cups, we must fill each other's cups. For someday our own cup might appear empty, and we must cultivate the trust to believe, to know that someone else might help us to fill it, revealing perhaps the truest blessing of being in community. We learn how to give, how to receive, which can be hard for some of us, and how to share, and we learn how to toast. How to toast to life itself. So, let us remember that as such life and such abundance is shared over and passed back and forth, that one day, having had our fill of life, we must bequeath our cherished cups to the next generation and lay down to rest. Tomorrow, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is Earth Day. And so our opening hymn this morning is Blue Boat Home. Before we sing it, I wanted to think of why this hymn is so beloved in our Unitarian Universalist communities. And so I wrote these opening words for our service for us. Every time we gather in community, we have the opportunity to embark upon a grand adventure, to set sail for the unknown, to discover something new about ourselves and about our world, to audaciously cast our questions of meaning and purpose into the deep well of mystery, to chart a course for wondrous lands unknown. And in the process, we become kindred, pilgrim souls as we greet the infinite sea of life together. Sometimes, though, because we are people, we are a little imperfect, we might choose or set our course for something a little less grand. We might opt for routines and scripts, and we might seek tranquil waters that offer us a safe mooring. We might like our safe, calm harbor with our ship anchored in shelter as we replenish our stocks. But while a ship might be safe while anchored in port, the adventurer in us knows that the sailor's song of discovery is always humming in the human heart. This place that you have arrived in here today, that we call worship, this space that we call worship, meaning literally that we seek the worthship or the worthiness of things that are worthy of our attention, simply asks of you to pay attention to this journey of life that we are all on. So with me today, will you notice the beautiful ocean of existence upon which we are afloat? Will you give thanks with me for the waves upholding us? Will you listen to the sailor's song in all of our hearts? And what does it say? Today, perhaps it will say, pull up your anchor. Heed the great winds urging us on to greater connection and wonder and discovery, and leave the comfort of the sheltered harbor behind. Though a ship might be safe, anchored in port, we know that that is not what ships are made for. So let's set sail together and let's get a little lost together and maybe end up somewhere new and beautiful. And let's sing number 1064, Blue Boat Home.
Away from the rolling
Will you join me in saying our words of affirmation as we proclaim to each other who we are and what matters to us? Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need. This do we affirm and covenant with each other. And let us sing.
Good morning. Each Sunday, we take a special collection which extends our vision of beloved community by supporting work in the world which addresses human needs. This month, our offerings provide support for UUCSR's Edward Miller Memorial Music Scholarship Fund. And as you can see on the screen, these are many of our former recipients. Named for a former UUCSR music director, the fund provides financial assistance to graduating high school music students in Nassau County who have demonstrated strong interest in music. The ways to give are as follows. You can use the QR code that you see on your order of service. To do that, open the camera app on your phone, hold the phone so the QR code appears in view, but don't take a photo. Tap the notification to open the donation page on the UUCSR website. On PayPal.com, you can send money to donate@uucsr.org, or you can pay by check by dropping one in the collection box in the main lobby, or by mailing it to UUCSR Finance Office. Please enter April 2024 on the memo line. You can also just drop cash in the donation box. And lastly, you may also go to the giving page on uucsr.org to set up a one-time or recurring payment. Thank you.
I have one more offering for you too today. There's no sermon today, by the way. I know, you're so disappointed. My little trick, though, is that it's sort of broken up into the entire service. Driving is hard for me. I don't know if it is for you. It's one of those, I think I've said this before, but I think about it so often because I drive so often, and I drive in New York City and on Long Island. And I had one of those moments this morning where you're at a light and somebody's turning, and the light, you're all waiting for the light to turn green, and there's, somebody on a bike and somebody in the car. And everybody knows that the first person to go to sort of book it when that light turns green is the one who wins. And you're just wondering who's going to make it first and who's going to lose. Life feels so much like that on so many occasions. Every day for me sometimes. In this place that we live, that I love. We are a culture of movers and shakers and builders and doers and entrepreneurs and achievers and overachievers and competitors, and we're fast a lot of the time. But here you are today, and I've asked you to stop. That's what you do when you come here. You sit down, and you stop. And you take a pause for a moment to notice what is important, to notice what is in your heart. Not the competitions in the race, but the beauty of what it means to be alive. The beauty of what is here already with us. Sometimes we forget what's true, and we forget to stop and to breathe, not to be anticipating who our next competitor is, and to notice how rich our world is. So for our meditation today, on the eve of this Earth Day, my human achievers, my people here in this room, I ask you to take a moment and to stop and to breathe. Maybe even feel your feet planted on the ground, like strong roots, like the strong roots of a tree. And to feel those feet on the ground and think about this. On a cosmic scale, to a cosmic observer, you, a creature on this planet, are perhaps indistinguishable from anything else on it. From the plants and animals, you are perhaps indistinguishable from the trees themselves. So in this spirit of pausing for a moment, of resting from your labors and your competitions, I ask you to join me in a bit of a journey in your mind. You can close your eyes if you want to, or perhaps turn your gaze to something out, a beautiful tree outside in the distance, or just knowing that you're here with other people. Feel those feet on the floor like roots of a tree, the tree of life itself that we are all a part of. And so now imagine this tree of life that we are a part of. It is big and beautiful and old and weathered and windy, and it is in the center of a village that we all share. It is many centuries old, and it has roots that go deep, deep, deep down into the earth. And it has branches that spread out far and wide and cover this village. Offer it shade, let sunlight come through where it needs to, provide shelter. The children of the village gather to play on and in the branches of the tree. Young people surreptitiously sneak out to the tree in the middle of the night to do whatever it is that young people do in the middle of the night. And they dream. And adults and elders come to the tree and sit and contemplate their past and their future connections. And then perhaps in the encounters, the elders encounter the children and they learn to play. They learn to not forget that spirit of play. And the children learn the importance of contemplating their past and their future connections. This tree that we are gathered at is a witness to so many stories, And you can hear the echoes of generations as the wind rustles through the leaves and the branches. The leaves and the branches that know the cycles of birth and death that we are all a part of. And of course, because it's a tree and this is a story, this is an imaginative exercise. The tree, because I am imagining it, the tree must have ripe, juicy fruits growing on it at all times of year. Fruits so tempting that rumor has it that long ago the people of the village were told not to taste the fruit, for it might bring them knowledge that might lead them down paths that are unknown. They were told not to taste the fruit. But they did. Because they're people. And people always want to do what they're told not to do. But one day, exhausted and tired from your travels, you arrive at this tree in the center of the village. Enticed by its beauty, you stop for a moment to rest. And you are starving. So you reach up and you grab a piece of that tasty fruit and you take a bite. Revived now, your mind goes back to all those things that you were doing, your work and your to-do lists, and all those things that you need. And you say, this fruit is amazing. I must sell it. I must capitalize on it. I must make some money from this tree. I must sell it to that neighboring village who has a far less superior tree. And you turn and you ask the elder who is sitting at the base of the tree, who owns this fruit in this amazing tree? And they respond, what do you mean? Nobody owns the tree. If anything, we belong to it. So then nobody will mind if I take the fruit and sell it, right? I do mind, for I am a steward of this tree. But why? Just look at how low-hanging this fruit is. I could carry away 5 bushels right now if I wanted to. No, the tree isn't like that. We don't come here to take from it, even though we receive so much. We feast on the fruits of the tree sustainably, taking what we need and preparing a delicious meal to share with each other. We feast so that we can share with one another, not so that we can profit. Silly human. We are stewards of this tree because this is where we are all nourished. This is where some of our most precious memories have been forged, where our people have dreamed, where we have played and danced and sung. This is where we discover who we are together. Yeah, but you say, the tree doesn't need you to be its keeper. It grows on its own. It doesn't need anything. No. Not on its own. It grows from the earth itself, from the soil, from the sun, from the water and the wind and the rain. And it reminds us of the beautiful garden that sustains us. The tree may not need me, but others who arrive at this tree do. All of us who gather at this tree need it and need us to take care of it. This is the gift of all who I encounter here. For example, this morning, I encountered a woman here sitting at this tree crying. And she sat with her friend at the base of the tree who listened to her and held her and offered her comfort in the shade. And then in the afternoon, a child came looking to to explore and discover, and I helped them learn how to climb, and they helped me remember to play and to explore. Last evening, another one of my friends came here and told me their stories, and I learned so much about the world and myself even. And now today, you, my weary and confused traveler, have arrived. You needed your spirit restored, and it was. And this tree has reminded us both of how many blessings there are in this life. For when we gather to celebrate and grow under the branches of our tree, we recognize our connection, how much we need all of those things that sustain us. You see, the tree may not need me, but we all need this tree. And now I really think you needed to meet me beneath this tree. You came in search of fruits, but I offer you not fruits. I offer you roots. Remember, you cannot have fruits without roots. Luckily for you, my friend, I'm here to let you know that when you care for the tree of life, you gain the fruit of connection, and that is so much sweeter. A sincere hope of mine for today is for all those of you who are members here to come away from today feeling truly nourished and knowing what it means, what the gifts are of being a member of this community, what the gifts that you give together are in being members of this community, by your presence here, by your connections here, and by the things that you discover together here. And so I could spend this whole time talking about what it means to be a member and convincing you of the value of being a member. And then I thought, well, what if I gave you some reasons not to be a member? Some reasons why you might not want to be a member of a Unitarian Universalist congregation. And I thought maybe I shouldn't do that. But then I thought maybe I would give you one reason. And it's probably really a reason to be a member. I guess I'll admit that up front. But if you think that you have it all figured out, and you have the answers to all of life's questions, and you think that you're not interested in changing or learning or growing or encountering something that might challenge you, then maybe you don't want to be a Unitarian Universalist. There is a famous joke that is often put out on the signs outside of UU churches, UU congregations, UU fellowships. And it often says, Unitarian Universalism, have your answers questioned. Has anyone heard that before? That, I think, is what it means to be grounded in diversity of thought or in a pluralistic community, where you might, like the traveler who comes to that tree in the story, come with an idea of what you need and what the world needs, and have that idea challenged in a new and transformative way. One of the purposes, I believe, of being in spiritual community or religious community is to find our roots so that we can name our commitments to one another and have those commitments troubled a little bit, perhaps even, and to find accountability partners who might help us to explore them more. But today, we're here not necessarily to trouble each other, but to celebrate each other. So what we wanted to do today is to celebrate the fact that we have added new members to this community. New people have come into this community throughout the past year. And we wanted to acknowledge them and to invite them to be known to the community. And so anyone who has become a member in this past congregational year, so that's the last since July, if you're here today and you want to be acknowledged, I invite you to stand. Yes. And Monica has something for you that we're going to hand out. You can think of it as the first taste of sweetness of being a member of the fruits of this community. We're giving to you today a chalice, which is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, that cup for blessings, that cup for celebrating the blessings of life, to remind you of the gifts of being in this community, and also the Unitarian Universalist Pocket Guide, which will tell you everything you could ever want to know in roughly 100 pages about Unitarian Universalism. I have invited two of our new members to come up here and speak. Yes, you can go ahead and distribute them. Yeah. Can I see our new members stand one more time? Or raise your hand if you don't want to stand. Yeah. Yeah. Would you and now, can I just see for a second, anyone maybe who joined a little bit further away than that didn't get the chance to be recognized in community? Anybody else want to stand? Maybe who joined in the year before that, or during the COVID period, where maybe we didn't get to do something like this? Anyone here who wants to sort of make themselves known? That's okay. So I've invited two of you to come up and share just briefly about what brought you here and what and why you decided to become members of this community. Katie, would you like to come up first and say something to us? And if you'd introduce yourself. You can come up here.
Okay.
Or you can stay down there.
Come on up here. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Katie. This is my husband, Robert, and these are our offspring. This is Charlotte, and this is Fiona. So thank you, Reverend Israel, and thank you so much, Monica. This is such a lovely gesture, and we've actually been coming here for about 5 years, and we finally got around to making it official and signing the membership book. So, I mean, this place is just, we've had so many moments here that have just been magical. Carson has been a big part of that. And, you know, RE, Feasts and Festivals, having a sleepover in a mansion, like, it's just incredible. And everyone has gone above and beyond here that, you know, when my kids started coming here, they wouldn't speak to anyone, and now they just roam like it's home to them, which is, it's just wonderful. Me and my girls are lifelong Unitarians, so before coming here, we went to the congregation at White Plains for about 5 years. Before that, I was at the Montclair congregation, and before that, Stony Brook since forever. So you can always find me in the RE wing. I grew up in RE, and I never left. So that's where that's where my roots are. Yeah. So those are my roots, and you know, in a few years, you know, we're fingers crossed that we'll be able to own our first home. And when we talk about, you know, where we're eventually going to settle in, I will say this place does come up in those conversations, which I think says something. If that doesn't say, you know, roots, then I don't know what does. So thank you, everyone, so much. Thank you.
And Bob would like to say a few words too.
Okay, I feel very comfortable coming here today because I lived in Point Lookout for 40 years, and my wife and I did ocean racing, and our sailboat was blue. Having said that, we had our best fights on the sailboat. I came to join the church. I started here 5 years ago, but then COVID came, and my wife and I stopped coming, as most people did. And there are two reasons I came and joined the church. One is the sense of acceptance and community that I felt here. And secondly, the commitment of so many members to social justice. And having worked for the poor and as a clinical social worker, I saw the importance of community and acceptance. The second reason that's the main two reasons that I came here. And I just want to end by saying this. It's a quote from T.S. Eliot. And when you have finished the rest of your exploration, you will come to the point where, no, I'm going to start over with that. When you have come to the end of your exploration, you will arrive at the place where you started out, and you will know it for the first time. I do want to mention Stephen Michael Smith, who encouraged me to get involved with Alzheimer's, and Reverend Buffardi for allowing me to co-chair a small group here beginning on May 5th. And thirdly, most emphatically, the Reverend David Olson, who has had the vision to spearhead the need for workshops on Alzheimer's and dementia, because such a chronic problem, and it takes a community to handle it. Thank you very much.
We're so glad that all of you new and new-ish members have joined us, and we're so glad that all of you show up to community every Sunday, and every time you come here, and every time you bring your concerns about the world and your desires to be there for one another, and your desires to stand at the front door and greet people and sing in the choir and do all of the things that make this vastly complex place work. And all of the things that create a sense of warmth and love and connection and beauty in these walls, and that help you while you're here to do that out there and practice that in your greater life. Those are the roots and the wings that you form here. And so now let's sing, because sometimes words are not enough. We're going to sing hymn number 354, We Laugh, We Cry, verses 1 and 4. May each of us go here from today knowing that to question truly is an answer, and that is at the heart of what we do, question together and seek together and find each other's company in the questioning and seeking. So may you go from here connected to each other, and connected to this journey that we are all on together. You may be seated.